And tonight on our Great American panel, he was the White House political director under President George W. Bush. Matt Schlapp is back. She is the founder of the Movement Vision Lab. Political commentator Sally Kohn is with us. And she is a columnist for the Daily Caller and author of this new terrific book. It's called Outnumbered, Chronicles of a Manhattan Conservative. Jedediah Bila is here. By the way, you got, let's see, my endorsement, Levin, thank me, David Limbaugh, Tammy Bruce.
Yep.
And the great picture looks great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Being a liberal and being a conservative in New York is a challenge.
It is a challenge, and you're going to get ready to see the true face of left-wing elitism and intolerance. So pick it up.
Oh, I experience it in New York.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. You know what? We've watched Bill Clinton have sex with an intern in the Oval Office. We watched. I'm sorry, it wasn't
sex. We didn't actually watch him.
No, we didn't actually watch him. You Weisenheimer.
Pre-reality
nice.
TV.
We didn't watch him.
But I missed that video. Go ahead.
All right. It's not on YouTube. we saw John Edwards. He's on a presidential campaign, and he's having an affair. Now, how did Arnold Schwarzenegger, for 10 years, let's watch this tape of him talking about this.
We both love each other very much. We're very fortunate that we have 4 extraordinary children. And we're taking one day at a time.
What do you think? How did he hide this for 10 years?
I have no idea how he hid it. I just hope that the media remembers that he has 4 kids. Because, oftentimes when we talk about these political figures, we criticize them, and rightfully so. But he has 4 kids, and they didn't ask to be in the spotlight. So, we have to consider. And the youngest one, I think, is 13. But I have no idea how he managed to pull this off, so to speak. It's sad, and it's a sad statement on the state of the family, frankly.
To me, the most disturbing thing about this story is the way the media is talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, same way they're talking about Dominique Strauss-Kahn, the IMF head, which is, this is just guys being guys. I mean, there's a difference between...
One is rape and one is a consensual relationship.
No, but let's be clear. When Schwarzenegger ran for office, and it was actually Maria, his wife, who rescued him from this, 16 women came out with allegations of very serious sexual harassment on the workplace.
Nobody accused him of rape.
Oh, but come on, we're slippery scale. We're talking...
Slippery scale?
No,
quite a difference,
Sean,
though.
no, there is not a difference between consensual sexual activity and non-consensual sexual activity. Same thing with Dominique Strauss-Kahn. You saw the past few years, him engaging in unwelcome, unwarranted sexual activity. We have to call a spade and not just say these guys are players. They're predators.
Flirting and nothing to the extent trying to force a woman to have sex.
No, we're talking about clear allegations. He put his hand down women's skirts, interns during films that they were working under him.
So you're saying we should have seen this coming?
I'm saying we shouldn't just be like, oh, he's just a guy. Oh,
I don't know. I don't say that. What do you say?
I'm more worried about the fact that what he did to the taxpayers in California was an abomination. And I think, it's too bad when we see public officials stumble like this. And I agree, let's let them handle it as a family. But let's not forget that he came in trying to be a conservative and rescue the economy in California, and he left changing his mind on almost every policy and leaving a wreck behind.
All right, let's move on. Nancy Pelosi. So all this talk about health care, all liberals lecturing us, you got to pass the bill to know what's in the bill, all these stuff. Isn't it interesting that in April, 204 waivers were given and granted? And by the way, 20% of them were from Nancy Pelosi's own district.
Yeah, I didn't know that in order to get my waiver, I had to go found an elitist restaurant in San Francisco. Now that I know that, maybe I'll go there and make that happen. But, you'd think they would think if we have to give out all these waivers, the legislation is flawed. Now, over 50% of people don't want it. They're voicing strong support for repeal.
Look at the number of unions that have gotten it.
Sure.
Look at all the liberal groups that have gotten it. What are you shaking your head for? Wait a minute, wait.
It's proof that it works. It's proof that it works. If they
proof
can get waivers,
people want
exactly.
There
are reasons to give waivers, which is so that the law.
They would lose their job.
I want a waiver. Can I have a waiver?
I want a waiver.
1,300 temporary waivers have been granted for a law, by the way, that is it's a temporary process.
And most of them pay back to liberal groups, Matt. That's the
right,
point.
That's right. Let's face it. The waiver is the new earmark. If you talk to the right member of Congress and you have the right influence, you don't have to have this bill apply to you. And why do they need these waivers? Because if they don't get the waiver,
wait a second.
they get rid of the
guy who runs the company, the benefits company, which, by the way, applied for a blanket set of waivers for businesses also in Georgia, in Alaska, and Washington State. Not only is a Republican donor.
What's good for every other company, it needs to be across the board. But the fact that this is happening in her district when she was so hell-bent on ramming it down our throat and they were bribing senators to get their votes.
It's skewed statistics. 1,300 waivers. Only 100 have been denied total, and they've been in every state.
Yeah, why do we need all their political cronies get it. That's
No, but
corruption.
they're not political cronies.
Sure
the
it
same
is.
people who are saying we shouldn't care about political donors.
I gotta take a break.
Absolutely not.
Well, we got my blood pressure's going up. Time now to check in with Greta to get a sneak peek of what is on the record tonight in 19 minutes. Greta.
You think your blood pressure is high? Imagine having former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich on tonight. He's thrown a stink bomb into the Republican Party. So he's going to be joining us at the top of the hour to find out exactly what he said, why he said it, and how he gets himself out of this one.
All right, we'll be watching 19 minutes from now. Greta goes on the record, and my debate with Rob Lowe. Why is Hollywood so liberal? And more with our Great American Panel next. And we continue now with our Great American Panel. All right, Congressman Allen West, he obliterates an Obama official at a hearing. Watch this.
What has been broken in the procurement process up to this point, which leads to that draft executive order?
The fact is, enormous numbers of dollars of taxpayer funds are at risk in the procurement system, and in order to instill confidence in the public, you want to have as much transparency as you can.
I can understand after a contract is awarded, that's public knowledge. But why is that part of the criteria that we have up front?
It would absolutely not be part of the evaluation criteria. Absolutely not part of the criteria, sir.
But correct me if I'm wrong, that's what this draft executive order brings forth. Do you support that draft executive order or not?
I'm not in a position to talk about the draft executive order, sir.
Well, I don't understand why you're here. It's a simple question. Do you support the draft executive order that is placed before you right now or not? Yes or no question?
I am not in a position to express an opinion about the draft.
Humada.
No, look, the guy's in a bad position. You have Obama's counsel in the White House, who was his campaign counsel, who is sitting over there while they're hatching their reelection plans, to come up with this executive order, which would chill all this conservative money that has gone to all these outside C4 groups, just like the left has done for years. Mm-hmm. And it is the height of hypocrisy that the Obama administration is going to ask everyone who wants to get a federal grant to tell them, which these donations are already disclosed to the IRS, to tell the Obama administration so that they can know while they're deciding grants where political money goes. This is the abridgment of the First Amendment. It's disgusting, and I really
agree with you.
Yeah, and why do they have to know? Why do they have to know? If it's not going to be part of the criteria, then why is it necessary information for them to have? And my favorite line is about transparency. Yeah. They're so committed to transparency, as we saw with, shoving a health care law we didn't want down our throats. And C-SPAN, it was all going to be on C-SPAN.
And there's an
Selective
FEC.
transparency.
The Obama campaign's being investigated by the FEC because they received more cash to their campaign than any other presidential campaign, and that's not
Sally's
disclosed.
having a nervous break. What is it?
Well, the actual facts of this executive order couldn't be more misrepresented. I mean, first of all, companies that are trying to get federal contracts already have to disclose their political contributions. They already do. This is only saying that there's an additional kind.
That's not true.
No, it is true. There's an additional kind of disclosure to shadow organizations that they have to provide
Shadow
as well.
organizations.
Why do they need
that? Shadow organizations, also known as nonprofits.
Why do they need that additional?
It's going to apply to everyone.
Why is that necessary?
Listen, when we were just talking about Pelosi and her district getting all these waivers, if the company that got those waivers had been giving huge money to Pelosi, wouldn't you think that was relevant? So if they were getting billions in federal contracts, isn't that relevant? Don't we want to know if there's corruption? Don't we want to know?
Should the Obama administration tell the American people all the names of the people who gave them all that cash in his campaign?
Yeah,
yes.
Don't we deserve that
yes.
transparency?
And as far as I know,
so you can't have selective transparency, is what I'm saying. You can't be selective.
Well,
if that's going to be your motto,
transparency and then be for it. I mean, come on, you're either for it or you're getting. So the point is, don't we want to know when we have corruption in our contracts?
I want to know when we have corruption with Obamacare waivers to Pelosi's district, but we got to run. Guys, good panel tonight. Thank you. When we come back, legendary actor Rob Lowe to talk about Charlie Sheen and liberalism in Hollywood.